It's Friday, July 20th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On today's show, we're reviewing safety on and in the water. We also are planning our entertainment bucket list for the rest of the summer. Let's start with some news you can use. Assistant Harbor Master Derek Lawson joined us in the studio to remind us about proper vessel identification and VH radio terminology and emergency use. Did you lose a kayak this weekend? Lots of people did, it seems. With me today, Derek Lawson, Assistant Harbor Master. Boy, lots of calls this past weekend and actually over the summer already of lost boats to the Coast Guard.
There has been, and the Coast Guard, as well as the Harbor Master Department and the Fire Department, were awfully busy trying to track those down this weekend.
And there's no people in them?
No. Unfortunately, or fortunately, there are no people in them. But, you know, there's a simple solution to this, and I think that's what we're going to talk about.
We are. We're going to talk about putting a sticker that the Coast Guard hands out. And this is, we're talking not your regular registered boats, but boats like kayaks, dinghies, things that wouldn't go through registration and have those numbers on, because the Coast Guard and the Fire Department and you can get a hold of those people because we have their names and addresses. But those small little pleasure craft little boats that say, hey, I'm out on a kayak, you're going to put a sticker on them. And you're going to put your name and your phone number on it.
That's correct. That way, when we find the vessel afloat, we can make a quick phone call. We'll know the person. We can even go by their house and check out to see if they're actually on the water. It just helps us out tremendously. And technically, it is a regulation within the town of Barnstable. Any vessel that you store on town property, you must have either a vessel sticker or your name clearly printed on the vessel, just for these types of incidents.
Right. So people are out on the water, they see this unmanned boat, they don't know whether somebody's fallen overboard. And it could be just that it's, you know, drifted out to sea on a high tide. We had high tides last weekend.
We did. We had some pretty high tides, and we believe that's what had occurred. But the Coast Guard takes this very seriously. Obviously, it could be a search and rescue case. They did put up a couple boats, and they put up some fixed air-wing aircraft trying to look for these folks. So that's quite an expenditure when you look at it for just maybe a kayak that came loose during high tide.
Right, expenditure of manpower and money to get those planes up in the air as well. And not to even mention that is that then you're tied up that personnel if there's a real emergency.
Correct. If there's something going on, say over in Lewis Bay, and we're looking for someone in the water over in the Three Bays area, you know, then it's going to take us X amount of time to get back in that area for a real emergency.
And something like that happened this weekend.
It did. On Saturday morning, we did have a report of a submerged vessel over in the Three Bays area, and Harbor Master got on scene. And what we do in those instances is we kind of see where the vessel is, see if there's any hazardous material coming out of the vessel, fuel, any oil, hydraulic oil, or hydraulic fuel. And at that point, we assess the situation, we notify the Coast Guard, and if we need to, then we'll get the Fire Department and other agencies involved. Fortunately, in this case, everything was enclosed, and we contacted the owner of the vessel and communicated that they needed to come up with some kind of plan. They contracted out with a commercial towing company who came in and righted the vessel and was able to tow the boat into a marina a little bit later in the day.
Right. But these are the types of situations, again, manpower is a finite resource. You have so many people on a particular shift, and if they're out chasing a float-away kayak, they can't respond to possibly a hazard on the water.
Correct.
Great. So when we talk about hazards on the water, I love the idea that you came in, and we're going to go through, I guess, a terminology quiz with folks, right?
Sure.
We want to make sure that what they hear on the radios, on those VHF radios on their boats, is they understand what the terminology is that they're hearing.
Okay. If you were on the water this past weekend in regards to the adrift kayaks, you heard pon, and you heard that on channel 13 and 16. Basically, that's the Coast Guard letting you know that there is an urgent transmission, not necessarily a mayday, but it could escalate into a mayday. And basically, they're just letting you know to keep your eyes open and if you see anything on the water. And I mentioned that that could elevate into a Mayday, and that's the major. That's the one that everyone should be going to if they're hearing that. There's someone taking on water. There's a possibility of loss of life or loss of vessel in that instance. So those are the two ones that you kind of listen to. And then there's the third one. You hear this a little bit more with ferry traffic over in the Lewis Bay, Hyannis Port area. And this is a Securite. The commercial ferries will be talking to just recreational boats, letting them know that they're coming in through the channel. You'll hear it a little bit with the commercial salvage tow companies, if they have a side tow, if they have a stern tow. And it's basically just a security, navigational, kind of keep your eyes open for this.
Right, and give them a wide berth.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
So Lou, we hear things on the radio, but sometimes we have to use the radio. Are there proper procedures that we should be aware of when we want to use those in emergency situations?
There are. You don't want to speak on channel VHF 16 unless it is one of these emergency type things or something that you need to communicate with the Coast Guard. If you're going to be communicating ship to ship, boat to boat to your friends, try to pick a channel other than 16. Channel 28 is an automated radio check. So if you're going to do a radio check, obviously stay off of 16. But our working channels here for the Barnstable Harbor Master, we use 9, 13, and 16. You can reach us on that if you're looking for a pump out. Try to reach us on 9. Coming over to Bismore Park Marina, we frequently try to shift traffic over to VHF 10.
Okay. Excellent. And if they do have an emergency, what's the procedure that you want to hear so you can get to them as quickly as possible?
If there is an on-the-water emergency, VHF 16, that way you're going to get it out, broadcast it out to the most people at one time. The Coast Guard will get involved quickly. So if you're on the water, it's definitely VHF 16.
What information should they include in that call?
Basically, the Coast Guard, and we will as well,
right.
We're going to ask a few questions immediately. We're going to ask the name of the vessel, where you're located, how many souls are on board, are you wearing your life jackets, your PFDs, what's your nature of distress. There are going to be some questions, so be prepared for that. Okay. But also be prepared to know where you are. If you're in a larger boat, you have GPS and you can get your lat long real quick. In the smaller power boats, some folks may not have GPS. It's still important to know where you are. If everybody has a phone on them these days, okay? Right. Some phones have some maps on here. They have a compass. If you go to that compass, it will tell you your lat long where you are. Okay. If you have Google Maps on your phone, that's a perfect opportunity to find out where you are. You give us that lat long, and we can get to you very quickly.
Okay, so really the lesson here is be prepared.
Be prepared, yes.
Be prepared, make sure you're wearing your life jacket, and get those boats with some stickers with your name and address on it.
Yes, we'll actually be over at the Catuatown Dock Friday from 10 to 2. I'll be there with Mr. Tom Broderick from the Coast Guard Auxiliary. Yep. We will be handing out these stickers, as well as some Massachusetts boating laws and responsibilities. So come on over and say hello.
Perfect opportunity to get prepared.
Yeah, that's correct.
Thanks a lot, Derek.
All right, Paul.
It was Swim Safety Week at Barnstable Recreation, and Channel 18 hit the sand at Calmus Beach to see our lifeguards in action. The clouds are just clearing for Safety Week here at Calmus Beach. With me, Tim McGrath. You are ready to do anything on the beach if people are in distress. Tell us a little bit about what the lifeguards do in these tests.
So during Swim and Safety Week, we take our swim lessons and we go over a safety tip for them. For instance, right behind us, Sydney's going over how to identify a lifeguard on the beach. So finding that lifeguard tower and seeing that red sweatshirt, that red bathing suit, so that whenever they're at the beach, they know to look for that lifeguard so that if they are ever in trouble, they know who's going to come help them out.
That's great. And when we talk about drills for your lifeguards, they actually drill every morning. But this is another opportunity for some of those older kids who might be interested in being a lifeguard to really see them in action, right?
Absolutely. So we're going to see a tube rescue today. So we'll see the lifeguard go in, make the rescue, and then bring the victim to shore. The victim's also a lifeguard in this situation. So it's pretty fun to watch, and it's great for our lifeguards to get some actual in-water training in addition to what we do in the mornings.
And what does this do for the younger kids? This helps them kind of understand that if they do get in distress, that there's somebody there to help?
Certainly, it shows them what's going on at the beach, and it gives the swim lesson kids an opportunity to get out of the water, everything's okay, and the fact that they've gone over their safety tip earlier in the day kind of reinforces it.
Excellent. Let's get started.
All right, so as we see, we have our victim having trouble in the water, and our lifeguards are responding. She put one long whistle blast to notify everybody on the beach and her fellow lifeguards that the EAP had been activated. Our second lifeguard is now clearing the water as Carrie approaches the victim. Our swim lesson kids are brought up out of the water with the swim instructor and the lifeguard aide. And this, like I said before, this lifeguard is clearing the water. And Carrie will approach her victim, who is an active drowning victim at this point. He is conscious, struggling in the water, so she's going to approach and use a front assist rescue. She's going to push that tube right into his chest and then start to turn him around. At this point, she's going to be talking to him, telling him who she is, identifying herself as a lifeguard, and he's going to assist her kicking into where he can stand if possible. Other staff on the beach was now notifying EMS if this was a real emergency, so that as we bring the victim to shore, EMS is already on their way. In the event that it was a major incident, they could be here to take over CPR once our lifeguards had already begun. We're going to enter the swim area, and as Carrie gets him into shallow enough water, he's going to stand up, and she will assist him onto the beach if he needs it. And so you'll see now our second lifeguard has his first aid kit out. He's putting his gloves on so that he can make an assessment of the victim and determine if they need further care.
Stroll through Seaside Artistshanties and take home local artwork. Picnic along the harbor while listening to live music, or spend the day at one of Barnstable's outdoor festivals or special events. The summer season is in full swing, and every day is an artful day. Melissa, Arts Barnstable all over town properties this summer. There is something for absolutely everybody. Give us kind of a lowdown of what you can find out on the town green and here at the shanties.
Sure, at the shanties, Azleton Park, Bismore Park. So of course, you know, we have our shanties that features new artists every week, both here at the Harbor Overlook and at Bismore Park. In addition to visual arts, Paula, we have music. Lots and lots of live music. There's nothing greater than that, all featuring local singer-songwriters that play several days a week. We have music at Azleton Park, steps away, with concerts several nights a week.
Loveless and Local. Tell us about it.
Okay, well, we were approached by the town to collaborate a couple of years ago on their a singer-songwriter series every Thursday and Saturday throughout July and August, and they asked us to invite young singer-songwriters to come and play by the shanties and all summer long, and then to also organize some band concerts on Fridays as well. We've got some really great musicians who are up and coming, but also have been around for a while. And we've got Jordan Renzi, Katie Flynn, and then Graham Hempstead, who is a high schooler who is just getting his feet wet on the music scene. And we've got Kathleen Healy, Kim Moberg, Catherine King. So a lot of varying artists who sing lots of different types of music, and so we're really excited to have them up here at the Overlook, and then down at Bismore on Saturdays as well.
So up here is the Thursdays, and what time are these usually?
They're all start at 6 o'clock and they end at 7:30. You don't get radio airplay anymore. And Loveless and Local was a play off of Loveless Local, because we, from the very beginning, we've been really supportive of the local music scene. Our local musicians that play for us year-round and entertain Cape Codders year-round are so important to the fabric of our community. They bring us joy, they sing with us through some pain, you know, and so we really wanted to engage them locally and give them a platform. They don't get airplay, but also a lot of the music that you see out and about are all bands, and it's not a lot of solo acts or acoustic acts where they're just playing their own music or doing some covers of some really great songs as well. So every Friday is when we invite the bigger bands to play with a larger sound, and then we also have them at the Love Local Fest. So Love Local Fest is part of the Loveless and Local series as well. So we have Jake Batista Band, Katie Flynn Band again, and Joe and Co, and you know, a lot of the really lively, fun big sounds, and that's for Friday nights. And honestly, I think anybody could go and enjoy it. Loveless and Local all summer long. I'd say just tell everyone to come out and support the local musicians.
Fantastic. We can't wait.
Festivals, all sorts of gatherings and activities. And then you have the Village Green, of course, with everything from the town band every Wednesday, which is hometown charm at its best. Come under the stars, enjoy some music, but above and beyond music, and there's also special performances by like Moonlighters Band and other bands as well. We have Tai Chi. I think you should demonstrate for our viewers. We have Tai Chi. We have salsa. I am so excited for salsa dancing. That's it. Shaking those hips on the green. Movies on the green. I mean, there's basically something for everyone to experience as much or as not, you know, just as the background as you stroll through. It's all about walkability here in the High Arts Cultural District.
There are so many things happening in the summertime in Hyannis, but the best thing is things all around Main Street and on the town green. Elizabeth, tell us a little bit about the activities that the Hyannis Business Improvement District sponsors here on the town green and around town.
Oh, thank you. So we collaborate, of course, with the town and other entities, but what we want to do is have programming going on every day on Main Street and in the downtown area. So on Tuesday nights, we have movies on the green. So children's movies, right? A giant screen, you know, big fun Disney movies, and every Tuesday it's a different movie. And before that we have a craft session with kids, and we have talent out there to entertain the children before, and it's really fun. And little gifties get given out, so you make a good activity. And so always check our website for which movie is playing, and you know, and then you know to come at dusk and bring your lawn chairs and pizza and just sit down and have fun.
The local music scene here on Cape Cod is vibrant, to say the least, and you sponsor several different types of music throughout Hyannis.
Yeah, so Wednesday nights we have the singer-songwriter series throughout the Main Street area with local young singers and generally we ask them also to play music that they've created. So that's the theme of this Wednesday night series, and the Thursday night series is all jazz. And we work really well with you know, Dr. Alan Klinger, who puts together all his jazz friends in different ensembles, and we always have at least 4 different venues around the street with live music. And then we have a few bands that we're co-sponsoring with the town on the green to, you know, to keep it vibrant and happening.
So talk a little bit about the collaboration with the town of Barnstable. We have a fabulous front yard here, and it's a great place to hold events.
Absolutely. I mean, the bandstand was put together actually by the Hyannis Rotary many years ago, about 25 years ago. And, you know, there's so many fun things that can happen here. We have Tai Chi. We sponsor that in the daytime. We've done yoga up there. You know, it's really a place that people congregate, and it asks for activity and vibrancy. So especially with the music now, you have a great new sound system going on. I think it's, yeah, it's just perfect. So.
What's so fabulous, park your car at the town hall lot, and you are steps away from it all to be really truly experience the sights and sounds.
This is so big for our creative economy as well. You know, some of our artists do have just the short window to make their monies or to be discovered for anything, for their art or for their teaching for Tai Chi. So give us a little bit of understanding of how this all ties in as collaborative with other people. The town has been just welcoming open arms to artists over the last couple of months as we've set this up.
Absolutely. Collaborative with the creative economy themselves. We really want to see them thrive. So to be able to provide opportunities for them, extremely affordable opportunities, and in cases be able to hire them to do this so that they can launch their careers or discover which path they want to choose. But where you say collaboration is key. It is not just the town of Barnstable. We are here, but we work so closely with so many organizations. In the Cultural District, we have the Hyannis Main Street Business Improvement District. We have the Community College. We have the museums and the chambers. We even have our partner, Barnstable Village, is a cultural district as well, Cape Cod Arts Center. And these programs would not be possible without the support of those organizations. And then you have your business community. So you have your town, and it's not just through my department that makes these programs possible. I have to give props to our DPW, first of all, from town management and town council, who are willing to support this, to DPW, who makes things happen, and all the other departments that chip in. We have Discover Barnstable that also helps share not only the creative economy, but the town resources that are here for everyone to enjoy.
Summer here in the town of Barnstable is absolutely wonderful. Another really cool thing going on the town green is Shakespeare Under the Stars. With me today, Tilden Arts Manager Vanna Trudeau. What a cool idea, Shakespeare Under the Stars.
It's so exciting. We're so glad to be able to present Shakespeare outside in the open air where it belongs, rather than sitting behind a desk reading it off the page. It's very exciting to be here on this stage. We're really looking forward to bringing it to life.
So this is the way that really Shakespeare was made to kind of be introduced to folks, is that's what happened back in old Merry England, is those plays were produced outside.
Absolutely. Even with the background noise we have here today, that is the way 17th century audiences would have experienced it. The stage would have been in the round, the air would have been fresh, cold, rainy, you name it, and those performances were just done outside and alive and living and breathing, and it was a very vibrant, it wasn't a sit down, be quiet audience. It's a very vibrant audience, and we're really excited to have audiences experience that and our actors experience a whole new method of performing.
Right, and what's the play?
So we're doing The Tempest this year. This is our first inaugural season of Shakespeare Under the Stars. And The Tempest is nice because it's accessible to all audiences. It's a lighthearted romantic comedy and a little bit of those darker characters just for a little bit of intrigue and drama. It's a nice 75-minute performance, so it doesn't require an entire evening of your time. Free for the whole family. We're really looking forward to it.
So talk a little bit about the collaboration with the town. This is something that's new for us too. You know, our little front yard here in the town hall, you know, has had band concerts and jugglers and inflatable parks, but that's never really had any, you know, I guess plays or open air performances like this.
It's been many years since Shakespeare has been presented outside in the Mid-Cape area, and we're so excited to work with Melissa and the town of Barnstable because it really is something that the whole community can come together. And our actors are from the Mid-Cape area. They're from as far away as Provincetown and also even over the bridge, and they're coming all here to the Hyannis Village Green to celebrate what it is to be summertime on Cape Cod and enjoy outdoor theater.
So when are these performances going to happen?
So we kick off here on the Hyannis Village Green on Monday, July 16th, and we run 4 consecutive Mondays all the way up through August 6th. We do have a few other presentations elsewhere across the Cape, which people can check out on our website. It's not scary. It's a lot of fun. The Tempest is beautiful. I actually performed the role of Miranda way back with Cape Rep in outdoor theater, and it's just a really special and magical presentation. We're really excited.
Have a magical evening, Shakespeare Under the Stars.
That's what this is about. It's not only for the creative economy, it's for our residents and visitors to engage and just feel good about who and where they are.
Excellent. Well, welcome to Arts in Barnstable.
Arts in Barnstable.
What's on your art calendar for this weekend? You can find music, theater, and everything in between at artsbarnstable.com. Here's a look at the meeting schedule for boards, commissions, and committees next week. Comments, suggestions, accolades? Connect with us on Facebook, email us, or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works for you. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.